Hi guys, how are you doing today? I hope everybody is doing well. I am still working on covers. I figure the more covers I have, the more journals I can make. Because once the covers are done, it's just easy for me. Now, some people don't have a problem with that. Some people just make a book and then go to the next one. They don't have the same problems I have. So last night I did this one, which I actually did it upside down. I thought this was the front because this folding part was supposed to be at the back, and then this was the main thing. But it let's see. So I messed it up. So yeah, so now it's going like this because you need about a 1-inch spine, and this folds in like this. This one I used a file folder. I used a file folder for this one, and then there's what's inside this one? Another piece of file folder, I think. So this one has like 2 file folders, and I wrapped this fabric around the piece and then sewed it on because I knew it wasn't going to be much worse to have more sewing on the edges, and actually just it added to it really. So this one was not hard. I covered the whole thing with this blue and just put a seam around the edge, and then I used glue stick and stuck on all these pieces, and then I put some random sewing in, and then I cut off all my strings, and then I did this part, and then I did around the edges again. So there's some pieces that kind of float up, and I could glue them down, but there's fabric underneath, and it just kind of gives it a little bit of movement. So I don't hate that one. So this one is going to end up being, you open it up, and there'll be pockets and stuff here, and then the journals will go in here. So I'll be putting the Midori style traveler's notebook little things up here, and have smaller notebooks that will go in there. So that I made yesterday, and I channeled my inner Rachel. Because normally I would not put bottle caps with flowers. So, yes, that was me doing a little bit of a clashy, channeling my inner Rachel, Roxy Creations. This one's not so clashy. So, I watched a lady, it was like a 7-year-old video, I think. She used fun foam. Another lady used the really thick, fusible webbing. So this one I made with fun foam just to make sure I could sew through it, and I was able to sew through it. So this is the one I'm actually going to show you because I don't have enough thread in my machine to show the other one, because you'll see. I used up almost all my thread on the other one. The bobbin was empty. I filled the bobbin, and next thing I knew, my thread was almost empty. This piece here was only came to here, so I cut it in half and then switch the sides so that I'd have the brighter sides showing on the ends. Well, I wanted this on the front, I guess, the brighter. And then put this in the middle, and then I've got that aqua ticking in the middle, which I may grunge up a little bit, but it was perfect for that. So I was happy about that. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but let's start out by cutting the, I actually have some white, so then I can use some lighter color fabric if I want to. So I'm going to start with 8 3/4, and that's going to be the height, because I know this is about 12 this way, so I know I have enough to do the 10 1/2 the other way. So the 10 3/4 is the height of the journal cover. The journal pages are a little shorter. Come on, I just put a new blade in this. Doesn't like the fun foam, I guess. And okay, now that's a mess. Sorry, we're going to cut off that part. And then 10 1/2, which gives me 4 3/4, an inch, and 4 3/4. Hence the 10 1/2. Do it right, lady. Because the traveler's notebook is usually 8 3/4. I just need to fix this. That's 8 3/4, yes. Traveler's notebook, when I looked it up, was 8 3/4. Oh, that wasn't even right. Oh, did I just do 8 1/2? Well, this one's going to be a little shorter. It was supposed to be 3/4, but I just cut off 1/4 inch like a dummy. But we're just going to go with it. I'll just have a shorter traveler's notebook. No big deal. Means my pages will be a little shorter. It's not the end of the world. But yes, it should be 8 3/4 by 10 1/2. Now, what do we want? Now I have a lot of fabric here. I do like to use some utility fabric if I can. I have Christmas fabric somewhere. I wonder where it is. I could have done a Christmas one. I don't have any Christmas journals going, but alright, let's grab that ticking because we might find something we like that could go with. Actually, that works kind of nicely. I already have one of these. Alright, what do I not have? Or what do I have a lot of? Alright, I love that I have this aqua ticking because it really goes with quite a lot. I think I just realized you're kind of want to be a little bit straighter, don't ya? Don't ya? Don't ya? Or if I want to do a Christmassy one, I could just do Christmas colors and then do something on top of that. But alright, so I use white, so I think I still like to have utility fabric involved somehow. Alright, I've done this one. Did I do this one? Yes, I did do one of these, don't I? I have that one. Yep, I do. I have one of those. Of course, I have one of the other ones too. What if I, figure out what I want before we start? That'd be good. Let's see. What do I have the most? Oh, I have more of this one, so I'll do that one. Just because I have more of it. Now, I could do the aqua ticking, or I could do the red. That is not the same red. And that's not even close. So, aqua it is. So, I'm going to start with my middle piece. Oh, good. That's a little longer than I need, but that's alright. I will cut it down to what I need it to be. In the world that I just do. That went the wrong direction. That was supposed to go this way. Well, don't mind me. Alright, now this needs to be just slightly, either the same size or slightly smaller than this. So I'm going to need to tear it off right about there. Then I'm going to, which side is the dirtiest side? Oh, this side has some stains on it. This is a thicker fabric, that's why it matters. So now I'm taking my glue stick and just gonna put some, this is just gonna hold it down, and I'm gonna be sewing it around the edges. I'm hoping the glue stick will also keep holding the middle parts down, but if not, at least it'll be on there. It does not want to stick to this side. The other one, oh, the other one I had, it was almost gone, and so I was using my, there. I don't need to cover it completely, just enough. Take all my extra strings off, kind of center it down here. Now, because I'm using the stripe ticking, the big important thing is to make sure it's straight on the side as much as I can. And then I just kind of move up in that direction, pressing down, because glue needs pressure to work. So now this next piece, which is this one, Tim Holtz fabric. I'm just gonna find a corner here. Now I'm gonna go over, well, at least 1/2 inch, but because of the way I tear this, probably want to go over almost like 3/4 of an inch. Also, I'm gonna be folding over the edges, so 3/4 of an inch minimum, maybe. So right about there. Alright, but here's my problem. It's not a problem per se, but I want at least to hold one of those flowers on there. So I'm recutting it here And then just kind of figuring out, so right around, right under this, or big second size down font. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to glue again. This side might glue different because fun foam, or whatever this foam is called, is usually different on either side, but nope, I gotta go in circles. And I've got lint in my glue, which is why it looks all dirty and gross, because I've been using it on fun foam and fabric. So I want to try to center this, get off the extra strings, and actually what I should have done was this, because I can't see from the other side. So I'm just going to center it here, press in the middle, and then turn it back over and press from the middle out. Try to get out any wrinkles that might be in there because I'm too lazy to iron. So, what are you guys working on? Anything good? I hope. Or just, you know, something fun for you. I mean, that's what I mean by good. If it's fun for you, it's good. And that makes me happy. Okay, now on the top and the bottom, I'm going to put glue stick here, and we're going to fold it over and press down. I'm going to lose my cover. And then I'm going to put glue stick on the edge here and fold this over. And this is how I get a clean inside. I wish it could be a little bit, oh, let me come up on this a little bit. I went down too far over here. Alright, so here's what I did before, but for some reason I'm not doing now. So I'm going to line up the edge with one of these lines. So I'm going to go halfway so I can see this line better. And then I'm going to get the string off my finger. Then I'm going to fold to this line here, which will give me a 1/2 inch overage. I mean, you know, it'll. I should have a 1/2 inch to go over like this. My glue's still sticky in some spots. And then that will get sewn. That was I needed to test before to make sure that I was going to be able to sew on the fun foam, because the lady that did the fabric, she did paper on fun foam. So I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to work. I'll start glue on there. Okay, coming to the 1/2 inch mark here, so that kind of, if you go like this, you're going to move all your fabric, so you kind of have to go out like that. And then coming up to this line here, which is the solid line, because I lined it up at the dotted line, because it's easier to follow a solid line when I'm doing this. There. Press that down. Put a little glue here. Try to get it just on the ends there and not go too far up, which I probably did. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm going to cut, not all the way to the corner, but about 1/4 inch or 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the corner. And then I'm going to cut down at an angle. And I'm going to do it on this side too, anywhere from a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 of an inch, I guess. I said that backwards. An 1/8 of an inch is smaller than and then angle that. Then I'm going to do like before. So I'm lining that up at the 1/2 inch mark. Putting some glue here. This one's not quite as straight, so that's why having this line to follow is helpful for getting it straight. Then I'm going to glue my corners, and I'm going to fold this over to get it out of the way. And I've got a little bulkiness wanting to happen here, so on this very corner here, I don't know if you can see this, I'm just going to cut off this at an angle right there. That way, when I come in, now I probably will put book corners, So I'm not too concerned, but if you're not going to put book corners, you definitely want to make sure you don't cut too much off of that. Alright, let's just glue on that side and then I'll know I have it glued. I think you're supposed to start from the center and go out. Silly me. Why would I follow directions? Put a little bit more in here. I have that at an angle so that it just hits the parts I want. So it gives us a fairly clean edge. Not perfect because it's a handmade item, not a machine made item. So, you know. I don't know why I lined it up before I put my glue on. Oh, and I didn't cut off my corner. Not going all the way to the corner, just leaving at least 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, and then cutting at an angle there. So get some of that bulk out of there. Same on this side. I'm trying to keep this straight, and then I left some space there, and then cutting an angle there. It's not going to show. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to do this again. 1/2 inch. Line up my line and then fold this. Yeah, this end's a little bit longer, isn't it? Better if you go from the center, which I don't always do. I'm going to put that under there so I can glue that piece down because it was extra long. Also, let's glue that piece down. And I have glue all over my fingers, and that's such fun. I'm cutting this corner off. It's just the top layer. There's another, I didn't cut off the back, just the front. And then I'm gonna put a little glue over here, put a little glue over here, fold this in like it's a package. I'm folding this one in like it's a package. I thought I heard someone moving trash cans outside, but I'm like, my husband's not home and no one in the house does that. Well, Dad probably would if I needed him to, but I could do it myself too. It's Nathan. He's the only one that wouldn't. He's the 21-year-old germaphobe. So he's been training his whole life for Addison's disease. Okay, now this piece was too long, so I need to cut that off so it doesn't show. Ugh, cut off. I just want you to not show. There we go. Get that back over again. Get that back over. There we go. You might show a tiny bit now, but my fingers are too gluey and sticky to do anything about it. Yeah, when I looked up travel notebook covers, there was like, I think 4 years old was like the most recent one. I was like, yeah, I guess maybe I can figure out how to do that. Alright, let's go ahead and sew this puppy. I'm going to pause you while I get the machine. Okay, now we are to the machine. Actually, I had to stop and restart because the video starts in one direction, and when I turn it to go to the machine, it turns, and I don't want, I'll have to merge them separately. Alright, so here's my front. I want to start at this back corner. So, this is my back corner. I'm starting on the front side. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I am on my zigzag, and I'm usually doing a 3 and a 3. I like a, I don't know what you'd call it. Oops, I'm not all the way under here. You have to yeah, you do have to make sure it's under enough that it'll start moving. And it was not moving. So I'm back stitching, a couple stitches there. And I'm just, right the inside of my foot is where that's where I started, so that's where I'm going to keep going. I mean, I can hear it going through the sticky, like it makes a funny noise, but it seems to be okay. And I want to end on the left, and then I'm going to turn it. Yep, that's about where I want it. And here we go. You can hear it going through the funny. I'm going to take that off now before it gets too And I'll show you, well, if you watch Gaelic SNL, you know why you end on the left. That might not be far enough. I'm going to go right and then left again. And my fabric is bunching up a little bit, but I'm going to be okay with that. I think that's enough. Yep. Kind of watching it, making sure it's staying straight. Again, go back in. And there's our cover. Now let's do our eyelets. Now I had a piece of paper that I cut 8 3/4. Of course now it's too tall. So I'm just going to get 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and because it's so easy to find one of those. It's not really, it's just that. I'm going to cut off, so I need 10.5, this is 11, so I'm just cutting off 1/2 inch. And that will give me my template. If you do this and your cover is the right size, 8 3/4, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to fold this piece of paper in half this way, and then I'm going to fold it in half again this way, and then I'm going to mark my bottom. So this is going to be the bottom, which is also going to be the top. I'm going to flip it around. And then, so this middle dot, this middle point is going to be, oh, I'll do like the other lady and use my ruler to make a line so you can see it better. Sound nice? Because I'm so nice. Yeah, move that in case I go through. Please flatter if you, alright. So, making a line there. And then this is that center line, because you're going to put a piece of elastic in the middle. And then I think that girl went up 3/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. So that's like the, yeah, it's just below the, it depends on if you have 1 or 2 dots there. You know what? Doesn't look right to me, so I'm gonna fold it. I'm lining up my line there and going out from there. That way I can make sure it's straight. Yeah, my lines, my dots were not level. Alright. And then I'm gonna go 1/8 inch on each side. I'm gonna use this for that. So 1/8 of an inch is here and here. So, I'm going to show you what you can do if your paper is not tall enough, because if you don't have extra big paper like I do, your paper is not going to be tall enough. Oh, here it is. Oh, I'm going to have to go grab my big bite too. So, I'm going to want my 1/8 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my paper actually. You can do this with a regular 1/8 inch thing too. Good thing that moves. So find the center of my circle. Try to get my hand to stop moving. Okay. Okay. So I'll go get my other punch in just a minute, but I'm going to show you how to do this part. So you line this up at the bottom, center it all centered, and make sure that it doesn't go where your string is. Actually, it could go down a little bit more, but that's alright. Alright, and then mark your 2 circles, and then turn it over. And do the same on this side. Center it really well. Right to the end here. And mark your 2 circles on that end. And then when you're doing the middle one, you just want to make sure that you center the top and the bottom so that this is the middle. I'm going to do that. So that's where that one goes. I'm going to get my eyelets. They're right here. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out. I have to do it a couple times. I don't know. And punch out this one. Cut out the extra fluff and stuff. I got the name of a character one time. I don't know. And you want to do this on the inside, the markings, because that way if they do show, they're not going to show on your cover. Although once you put your eyelets on, they might not show anyway, but do you really want to take that chance? Do you really want to take that chance? Now, if you have trouble with that, like if that didn't do it just right, then you can find your awl, which if you're making journals, you probably have one. And just kind of make sure your holes go all the way through so that you can get your eyelets in there. Alright, and oh, I'm too lazy to get my punch right. Oh no, I still will have to get it, but if you don't have a punch, you can use your awl to do that. But in order to actually set your eyelet, you would need to, I don't know, if you have a regular one with a hammer, you're all set. This has some black on it. I think I'm going to use the black. And then I think I'll pause and go grab my big bite. That's the whole reason I have the big bite, just so, alright, I do have the right one on this time. For real this time. Last time I thought I did, but I didn't. So, where it's going to show is on the outside, so that's where I put the pretty part. And I stick it in there. And then that little piece that sticks out right there, I put into the eyelet and hold it. Ah, you get, where'd my eyelet go? Disappeared. Then you get a new eyelet because you dropped one. I didn't say it was easy. I mean, it is simple and easy, but you know, it's not without it, because it wants to come out. So you put it down and then press like that. It won't look perfect on the inside, but that's okay. And I am now wondering where my black thread, my black elastic is, because although it wouldn't matter too much, because I have brown thread on here, so if I use brown elastic, that won't matter too much. Now I go get my big bite. Alright, so just like before, I make sure I have the little one on there, which I think was what? C and should be 3. Yep, C3. I only remember that because somebody else said what it was when I was watching one of the videos, the one from 4 years ago, I think, which was, Lolly Palooza. Is that who that was? You know what? First, we'll move this to the 1/8 punch, because that did not do as well as I had hoped on that side. Why are you both trying to go down? We don't want 2 holes. Okay, make sure it locks in. Okay. And finding where that hole is. I will say this makes a cleaner, I mean, you know, it goes through a little further than the other one. So if you're going through a thicker material and you have an option of your big bite or your regular one, you might want to use your, now I'm putting it all the way forward, putting it under here, pushing it up into my circle, into my, the part that sticks out. I can't show you because it's just, and then press down. I didn't feel like anything pressed. I don't think anything pressed. Nope, nothing pressed. Why did nothing press? Is it because I just have too much? Nothing is pressing. Is everything straight on here? Yes. It's all the way forward. Did I not have it all the way forward? Thought I did. Oh, maybe I didn't, because I didn't see that thing before. So yes, it has to be all the way forward, and then it presses. There we go. All right, now make sure I put that away when I'm done, or I won't be able to find it next time, because I don't use that one as much. So it actually does have a place where it lives away from my desk, but I knew exactly where to get it, which makes me happy. Now I have to have elastic, and somewhere I have black, but is it in here, the drawer where it should be? No. However, my fabric scissors are, and I didn't realize that they were like way back there. So I can't remember if this is 1.5. I think this is 1.5. The one lady she uses 2. This could be 2 millimeters. I can't remember. This is whichever size Jessica Rapp recommends. So I'm just going to take about 2 lengths or a little bit more. And then I'm going to go out this way and in this way. Now if I wanted to put a charm up here, I would want to put something there now, like oh, I don't have anything. Oh, do I have anything near me? Well, I would if it hadn't all fallen over. I have these keychains, so I might want to put one of those on, and then I can hang stuff off of it. So I would do that now. I would go ahead and pull one of these out, just one, and put it on there. And then put it in, and then I'm going to come down here and back through here. Now the one that used the one that was for Lolly Palooza, I think that's her name. She would she tied it until it bowed a little bit. So I guess we do want it to bow just a little bit. And that should give it, and then most of the people would tie it like this. They'd tie the 2 together like that. I'm going to bow a little bit. I don't want to bow too much. There, that's probably good. It bows a little bit. Then I can pull that tight. There, that should be good. And then for this one, just kind of want to do it about the length and then a little bit more for tying. And she said this one you kind of got to do by feel. So you go through from the outside to the inside, and sometimes you might have to like pull down and hold that and then put that through there. This must be 1.5 millimeter, because I'm going through a lot more easily than she was. So, but Lolly Palooza recommends 2 millimeter, and I believe I have 1.5 millimeter here. And I'm going to tie this. Oh, if you wanted to put a charm in, that would be the time to do that now. I don't know if I have one that I would put, or a button, or something that would just be for fun. Or the one gal, oh, I should have thought about that. Let's do that real quick, because this is a really good addition that she had. So you take a piece of this. I don't remember her size, but I think it might have been around 3 inches. And where's my, I'd forgotten about this until just this second. I'm looking for, oh, here it is, my corner rounder. You don't have to round the corners, but I think it'll make it a little bit prettier. And then don't think it has to be quite this wide either. Let's see. How far in can I go with this? Okay. And what I'm going to do is come through this side and make a hole, make a circle, so I can get them in about the same. I think she had hers all measured and whatnot. Obviously, I'm fancy like that too. Alright, and then our eyelets. I think I'm going to use white because this is white. And then it won't be as obvious. Did I put my eyelets away? I thought I put them away, but I might not have put them away. I mean, it's weird that I would have, but also, I thought I had. Wait, oh no. Seriously, they were just here. How far could they have gone? If they didn't go in the drawer where they belong, where could they have gone? It's just me over here, seeing if it went back far or something. That is weird. You don't know where they were? Underneath the cover, of course. Wish I could stop hitting you guys. It's kind of annoying me. It's probably annoying you guys too. Hold on. I'm trying to stick the cord in the drawer. So I'm just going to use the white ones on here. And you can do this any color, but the foam is, see, I'm not quite centered there. No, actually it is fairly, not exactly centered, but not bad either. It's alright, it won't matter. Whoops. These actually stick in this foam without the fabric. They stick pretty good all by themselves. So that I can do that. And, woo, squished it real good. Now, the reason I did that was, I'm going to take one of these strings out and I'm going to make sure this goes with the eyelets out. Right? Yeah. Going to go up through here, down through here, and then back through here again. Holding that on the inside so I don't lose it. And if I hold the inside one down, if I hold that with my fingers, and I hold, I was on the wrong side. Alright, I might have, let's hope I did that right. There, pull that through. What did I do? Oh, I'm around the thing. Okay. I just got caught on something, that's all. Now, let me just make sure, going the right direction. I'm going to hold on to those on the inside. This is fiddly, isn't it? And then I want to make sure that when I go over here, yeah, good. Well, yes, when I go over here, it's going to be the side I want, and I did not hold those good enough. So let's go back through. And then if you did have the 2mm elastic, that's the word I want. There was another way she said you could just kind of pull a thread, put a thread there and pull your string through with a thread. Alright, I'm going to tie this like this and then test my thing, which, remembering that it's empty right now and it's not gonna, alright, so I just tied it loosely right now. And so a little bit snug maybe, but it's, so if I were to fill it and fill it and fill it, it would still hold it. Alright, so I think I'm good. It's not pulling on it too hard. I'm just going to pull this way and pull that way again. There, that should do it. So there we go. We have, and I don't have any notebooks to put in there to show you, because I have to make those parts still. Oh, this is supposed to, and then what this does, might have made it a little long, although when it's full, it won't be. It keeps from putting dents in the edge of your book. That's what this was for. So it's just added protection, and you could, of course, you know, make it prettier if you wanted to, but I just wanted to show you that real quick. So we had a complete version from the 2 videos I watched, which is Lolly Palooza and some other lady who, her last video was 7 years ago, so she's not currently on YouTube making videos. I hope she's good. I hope everything's well in her life. So there we go. What is this called? Traveler's Notebook. Well, a little short, but that's okay. But this one's the right height. And this one I use the foam too. And I like to use some utility fabric at least on one side, because it just gives it some stability. I don't think Lolly Palooza, I think she just used quilting fabric. But yeah, you can see the difference. It's just a 1/4 inch difference, which will just make a difference in the size of pages that I put in. And it would mean that the books that you buy in stores won't probably fit in this one, because they're 8.5, I think, or are they 8 1/4? I don't know. Let me see how far apart my yes, I only have 7.5. I'd have to do 7.5. Where if this was another 1/4, it would be 7. I don't know. Usually I go up a little bit higher on my circles. That I was following the other lady's template. So as long as you don't go into your sewing, that's the only thing. So like this one, my sewing is higher, so I'm probably going to try to put my circles down lower, so I'm actually going to have more space. And now they're connecting. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and enjoyed seeing my 3 new covers that I made in addition to the 5. So it's going to be fun filling all these notebooks. Y'all have a delightful day.